Language conflicts in the United States have been one of the most overlooked topics in recent years. Since 2016, the number of immigrants and their U.S.-born children living in the United States has doubled from 43 million to 86 million, which is 27% of the population. In many of these households, families communicate in their native languages in an attempt to feel and keep connected with their native identity. Language has always intrigued me because my mother is from Israel, where they speak Hebrew, and I've been to Israel to visit my family many times. Hebrew is a difficult language to learn, and I'm still not fluent in it. In Israel, I have an enormous family. The language barrier frustrates me because I want to become close with my distant relatives and enjoy the short period of time we spend together. This made me curious about Israeli immigrants, like my family, who experience real problems with a language barrier in the United States. For my project, I thought it would be best to use interviews as my research in order to gather real-life experiences as information. First, I interviewed my mother, an immigrant from Israel. When did you move to the United States?
I moved to the United States when I was 27 years old.
How good was your English when you first moved to Florida?
My English was pretty good. I had a heavy accent. Some words that had the stem sounds, I couldn't tell them the same, so people wouldn't understand what I'm saying sometimes. My conversations was okay. I was a little bit intimidated in the beginning.
How did not knowing much English when you first moved here, how'd that make you feel?
Like I said, I knew my English wasn't great. In America, people speak pretty fast, so I didn't always understand everything. I remember I went to a massage school and I was having such a hard time with the English. And so it was difficult. I was intimidated to speak up because I was afraid to say the wrong thing or sound different. I wasn't shy of my accent, but I didn't want it to draw attention to me too much.
Next, I interviewed my uncle Shmulik, an international businessman who lives in Israel. How does the language barrier of Hebrew and English affect you in your job?
Even if you speak with people that know Hebrew, you need to speak only in English when you deal with them.
Has the language problems ever forced you to make any mistakes while working or caused any problems?
The question is, the answer is I have to be sure that I understand what the other side ask me, and usually if I deal with big deals, so I take somebody American to be with me. For emails or to speak.
I then interviewed a woman named Ilana, an immigrant from Israel who works as a teacher in St. Petersburg, Florida. Did you feel like you knew enough English?
No, I would say no. My English was not very fluent when I moved here, and the job in the day school was a bit challenging for me because I had to teach younger children, and sometimes they did not understand what I was saying.
So was it difficult communicating with your students?
Yes, I felt very frustrated by them sometimes because I felt like maybe the job was wrong for me or I was in the wrong place.
Israel, one of the smallest countries in the world, is the only country whose official language is Hebrew. Out of the 7.5 billion people in the world, approximately 9 million of those people speak Hebrew, and more than 8 million of them live in Israel. Living outside of your native country can be a difficult experience. There are many obstacles that people must overcome when migrating to a different country, with one of the most devastating obstacles being the language barrier. Although this is such a small sample size, it proves that people all around the world struggle with the language barrier. It can frustrate them and make them feel detached from their native culture.